Oh, good morning, guys. Good morning, Arup, Asif, Keshav, Tarif, Mukund, Saidi, Vinay, and Venkatesh. Guys, am I audible? Can everyone hear me perfectly fine? Is the screen visible? Am I audible? Hello. Perfect. Thanks, Arup. Thanks for replying back. Before I start the session, guys, a formal introduction on my name is Mohammed Shoaib. I'm a cybersecurity trainer certified from EC Council, and I teach courses like CE and certified ethical hacking, web application pen testing, EC Council security analyst, certified hacking forensics investigator, and so on. So again, before I start the demo session, this is a common question that I ask all the students just to get their perspective on what hacking is. So again, I don't want any definitive answers, guys, just to understand what your idea on hacking is. Can you please explain what is hacking in your own terms? Again, let's keep this session a bit interactive and fun and not just one-sided so that it's easier to understand concepts.
Yeah, hi. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Who's this speaking? Tarif, is it you?
No. Saidi.
Saidi. Hi, Saidi.
Yeah, hi, Saidi.
Hello.
There's hacking is nothing but like when we like server is being hacked by, and we will be like they will be securing our data, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
They will be collecting all the data, and then.
Okay, go ahead, Saidi. No problem. You're doing it. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what.
Like there's a security server, and you're trying to get access to it. That's what you're trying to say, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Perfect. That's perfectly all right. That's a good definition. There's nothing wrong in that at all. Voice is not coming. Please fix it. Tarif has just informed me that voice is not. I'm not audible properly. Is anyone else having that same issue, guys? Am I not audible? Hello.
No, sir. Audible only.
Perfectly fine, right?
Yes.
Sorry, Tarif. Okay, Tarif has just left the session. Okay, could be an issue on his end, if I'm not wrong. Okay, but again, depending on your definitions, guys, if I could just add upon that, hacking is nothing but trying to gain access to information systems. Okay, now these information systems could be anything, just like Saidi has mentioned. It could be a server, or it could be a mobile phone. It could be anything, a small device, as small as a mobile phone to as big as a web application server. Okay, and the hacker's job is to try to gain access to these information systems without the permission. Okay, without the permission or the consent of the person owning those systems. And this is usually done by hackers so that they can get their own financial or reputational benefit. Okay, once they get access to those devices, they can steal the data, destroy the data for fun, or just sell it on the dark web for financial benefits. Okay, now if hacking seems such a malicious task, if it is such a criminalistic job, why do we have a course called ethical hacking? It's a second question. Okay, because our whole course is named as certified ethical hacking. Right. So when we talk about ethical hacking, on the other hand, this is the procedure of trying to find the vulnerabilities. Now, a vulnerability is nothing but a flaw, a weakness, or a loophole in the source code of the application. Your job as an ethical hacker would be to try to find these vulnerabilities. And this is done with the permission of the organization. So the organization themselves ask you or allow you to perform penetration testing, which is nothing but trying to get access into their systems. And once you find the vulnerability, once you check that that vulnerability is actually working, your job is to report it back to the organization so that they can verify that vulnerability and they can release a patch for it. Once a patch is released and applied, that vulnerability gets closed. Okay. Once the vulnerability is closed, that closes the pathway or the door if you hacker as well to perform hack. Thereby, you're increasing the security of the infrastructure by finding the vulnerabilities. So in what hackers do is they find vulnerabilities, exploit them, and take advantage out of them. As an ethical hacker, you find vulnerabilities, you exploit them to see if they're working properly or not. And if they're actually working, you report them back to the organization. And once it is reported, a patch is applied, and that closes the vulnerability. Is this concept clear, guys? What is hacking? What is ethical hacking? What is the difference between both these terms? Keshav, Saidi, Venkatesh, Vinay, Tarif.
Yes,
Tarif,
sir.
can you hear me now? Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Tarif, yeah, Tarif, can you hear me now? Let me just text Tarif. Seems to be no issue on my end. Okay, guys, anyways, continuing further. Now, depending on these two definitions of hacking and ethical hacking, we can categorize the different types of hackers as well. So when we talk about different types of hackers, there's black hat hacker, gray hat hacker, and a white hat hacker. Okay, Tarif, thank you for the confirmation. Okay, I hope everyone is perfectly able to hear my voice. I hope I'm perfectly audible.
Yes, yes.
Now, depending on those two definitions of hacking, we can categorize the different types of hackers. There's someone known as a black hat hacker. Now, this guy is the villain of the story, someone who performs hacking for his own benefit or just for fun without asking for permission. On the other hand, the hero of the story is the white hat hacker, also known as an ethical hacker or a penetration tester, who performs hacking or penetration testing to find vulnerabilities and report them back. Once they are reported back, they are fixed, the vulnerabilities are patched, and that increases the security. In between, there's a gray area. There's someone else known as a gray hat hacker. This guy has both the qualities of a black hat hacker as well as a white hat hacker. Like a black hat hacker, he does not ask for permission for performing penetration tests. But once he finds a vulnerability, he reports it back like a white hat hacker. Okay, and obviously he will not do it for free. He needs some kind of a benefit from that. That could be reputational benefit or a financial benefit or anything. So he could ask for a bounty. Okay, like a prize reward in amount of money or a mention in the Hall of Fame for reputation. Okay, these people are also known as bug bounty hunters. Okay, now all these hackers, whether you take a black hat hacker, gray hat hacker, or a white hat hacker, they perform hacking in with a set of procedures. They follow a systematic way, and that set of procedures is known as hacking cycle, or also known as cyber kill chain. Okay, now whatever hacker it be, whether it be a black hat hacker, gray hat hacker, or white hat hacker, always needs to follow these set of procedures so that the process of hacking has a much higher rate of output, success rate of output. Okay, and various organizations categorize these steps into various numbers. But if I had to sum it up, there are 5 important steps. First step is known as information gathering. It can also be called as reconnaissance or footprinting. Second step is known as scanning. It can also be called as enumeration. Third step is gaining access. Fourth step is maintaining access. Last step is reporting or clearing traces. The reason I've specifically mentioned all in capitals in the last step is because this is where it makes all the difference between a white hat hacker and a black hat hacker. A white hat hacker, after performing all the first 4 steps, tries to create a report, and he submits that report, which consists the list of all the vulnerabilities to the organization. A black hat hacker would definitely not submit the report. He wants to take advantage of it. So once he finds the vulnerabilities, once he exploits them, he removes all the evidences, which is nothing but clearing traces, deleting all the log files, deleting all the traces, and so on. Now let's briefly discuss about each of these steps one by one so that we can have a clear picture of what is being discussed in the course. So when you talk about information gathering first, as the name itself suggests, information gathering is nothing but trying to gain as much information as possible about the target passively. What I mean by passively is that you try to gain this information from third-party sources without directly contacting the organization. Now you could ask, Shoaib, what kind of information are we actually trying to gain out? And this is the information as follows. So you try to gain information like the IP address information or the range of IP addresses used by the organization, then who is records to tell you who is hosting that website, since when it was hosted, when was it last updated, their DNS records to get the IP addresses of their various servers, employee details like the contact numbers, email addresses, publicly disclosed usernames and passwords. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. And then their domain names and the subdomains and the operating system information of the servers. All this information is readily available on the internet for a hacker or for a penetration tester to be gained. If I show you a very basic example, let's say if I wanted to get the email addresses of any organization, all I have to do is just search for a website called hunter.io. And hunter.io is a website which is capable of giving you the email addresses of employees of any organization. If I search for, let's say, any example that you guys want to give me, anyone? Let's just go with Infosys for now. Infosys.com. And you can notice if I click on find email addresses, this gives me all the emails of present working employees of Infosys. Now, this is a good source of information for hackers who want to perform phishing attacks. They can send phishing emails to these different emails. This can also be used by ethical hackers to send reports to, or also connect with. If you want to apply for jobs and all this, this site is basically for you to connect with all the other different organizations of employees of specific organizations. Okay, but this can also be misused by hackers to get email addresses with which they can perform phishing attacks or phishing attacks and stuff. Okay, again, you can search for any domain, whether that be Infosys or Wipro or whatnot. Wipro.com. And this will give you the email addresses of the employees of Wipro.com, as you can see. Okay, now similarly, for each of these different sources, for each of these different parts of information, you have different websites. Okay, and all these are third-party websites where you're not making any contact with the organization. You're getting all this information from third-party sources. After you get all this information, you go with the next step, which is scanning. Now, in scanning, this is a step ahead where you make active connections with the target. Okay, so you send data, so you send packets to the target, and in those packets, in response to those packets, you get some extra information, and that is known as scanning.
Yeah, I have a doubt. So now you showed me the email address of the organization, whoever are working, right? So
right.
Yeah, so means whether the why doesn't organization doesn't have the confidential news, means we should not go, means we should not show to any other third party resources. Now we are able to see whoever is working, right? Whoever
Exactly.
means, yeah. Then how come means what to say? Like how come we are able to visible when we are working in such big organization? They have to it is out of privacy, right?
Exactly right. So if you notice, to answer your question, there's sources. So this website hunter.io is not directly getting it from the organization, but from the sources. So you can notice over here, there's some jobs sources, some Wipro website sources and stuff. And in those web pages, it would capture those emails, as you can see over here. Email, Sharon Ward, somewhere over here, they must have mentioned, as you can see.
Okay.
Okay.
So means
And from such sources,
whatever means we will be going out of the means something social media, etc., job site, so we will be getting that information. Okay,
from this, so you don't have to specifically manually search everywhere. This is one it is tunneling it is bottlenecking and giving all the information in one specific place, so it makes your job easier. Rather than searching different sources, you can directly come to this hunter.io website where it is capturing all the sources and displaying the emails for you. Now, for Sean,
sir, does the organization doesn't know these are all these people we have to secure, means like that?
They definitely know that, because if you notice over here, this is Wipro's website on Sherwood.com Wipro call center. And their call center itself, they have given their own. So they obviously know that they have provided the email. But it is important that the employees be careful of what emails they are receiving.
So from there, we are taking the source and we are from the third party resources, we are getting the email ID, right?
Email IDs. Similarly, for any other information as well, you have third party sources as well. So if you take DNS records, there's a website called DNS Dumpster. DNS Dumpster. Now this website is capable of giving you DNS information for any organization. So if I search for Wipro.com again, if I click on search, you can notice this will give me all the information for the servers of Wipro, all the IP addresses, all the different domains, domain names, subdomains, and the IP addresses of the servers, IP address information. A complete map of Wipro's organization, of the public servers. Okay, and this information needs to be provided by Wipro itself publicly, because these servers need to be accessed. So each and every domain name, each and every server, public IDs is publicly accessible information. Again, you would not know unless and until you know the correct source from where you can get this information. So learning that part of information gathering makes it easier for you to understand these are the sources from where hackers or ethical hackers can get such information. Is this clear, guys?
So, sir, my question is when the information is easily available in the net, why can't we block that all these sources? That is what my question.
If you block it, the website will not be accessible. That's the point. So it's it's a boon and bane situation. If you want this specific mechanism to work for someone to go to a specific website, this public IP needs to be hosted on the internet.
Yes.
And that is visible. That is completely visible. It is not getting hidden behind any any curtain for you to hide it. It needs to be visible so that it can be accessed.
So means now whether according to my idea, so now whether internet is useful or whether it is a harmful. So means
both the ways. There's a knife. You cut an apple or you cut someone's throat. That's your choice.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Now coming back to next part. In scanning, we're using very important tools like Nmap and Nessus, which are capable of performing network scanning, port scanning, and vulnerability scanning. In network scanning, we're using a tool called Nessus. And again, both network and port scanning, we're using a tool called Nmap for performing network scanning and port scanning, where from network scanning, you can try to figure out in your own basic local network what all other devices are active. Okay, and in port scanning, you can try to figure out on those devices what ports are open, what services are running, and what services of what version are there. From those versions, you can perform vulnerability scanning to see on those services are there any vulnerabilities. So using all the industry-based tools such as Nmap and Nessus. I already have Nessus installed on my system on localhost colon 8834. And this is HTTPS request. And you can see Nessus is a vulnerability scanning. If you want to download Nessus, you can just search for Nessus on the internet. And this is the official website from where you can download Nessus. This is a vulnerability scan tool that is used in real-time scenarios or organizations. And then we'll be learning how to use this Nessus tool, how to perform these scannings, and how to get the list of vulnerabilities. And let me just show you a glimpse of how Nessus looks like. So this is how your basic Nessus looks like. If I go to policies, if I go to scan templates, you can notice this is capable of scanning the whole network of any vulnerabilities on any organization, okay, on your own local organization. And once you perform a scan, this is how the scan would look like. This shows you the list of vulnerabilities, what vulnerabilities would exist on the operating systems or the devices in your network. Again, might seem a bit technical, guys, but just to give you a clear picture of what job we do in a real-time scenario in organizations. Okay, this is a vulnerability scanning tool which is capable of automatically scanning all the vulnerabilities in your organization. Okay, after scanning is done, we'll be going with the next phase. This is gaining access. Now, in gaining access, there's a huge, vast variety of topics. Okay, the first topic that we'll be discussing is system hack, where I'll show you how to crack or bypass any Windows operating system password, or whether that be Windows 7, Windows 8, 8.1, Windows 10. How do you crack it? Or how do you, if you're not able to crack it, how do you bypass it? Is what we'll be learning in system hacking. After that, we come to malwares, where I'll be teaching you what malwares are. To define malwares in one single sentence, malware is joined by two terms: malicious softwares. Okay, so any malicious software which is capable of harming your system intentionally is known as a malware. And there's a lot of categories under malware. There's viruses, worms, trojans, spyware, adware, whatnot. We practically learn each of these malwares one by one, how to create them, how to defend yourself from these malwares. Then there's a concept called malwares advanced, where this is not included in the CH curriculum by EC Council. We have just added this so that students have a better understanding of how malwares are developed. So I'll be teaching you basics of Python 3 programming, and I'll make you write your own keylogger. A keylogger is a tool which, once installed in the target system, can capture all the keystrokes. So whatever the user types on a system, usernames, passwords, or any random content in a notepad file, each and every keystroke will be captured and sent to the attacker's machine. Okay. After that, we'll learn network penetration testing, where I'll show you all the common day-to-day attacks that happen on networks, like the sniffing attack, MITM attack, hacking wireless routers, denial of service attacks, and so on. After that, we'll come with social engineering, where I'll show you how you can create fake login pages, how hackers create fake login sites, and how we'll send these in emails to perform phishing attacks. Okay. Then comes web application pen testing, where I'll show you all the common web application vulnerabilities like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, broken authentication, and so on. These are vulnerabilities on websites that hackers can exploit to get access to the internal databases or to deface the websites. Okay. Then comes vulnerability assessment, where we'll be using a very important tool called Metasploit framework to use exploits and to attack target systems on a specific weakness or a vulnerability. Finally comes hacking Android phones, where I'll show you how to hack, how to create Android malwares and send them to Android phones and access them remotely. Okay, so this is basically gaining access. After gaining access comes maintaining access, where I'll show you how to maintain persistent connections with the target. So even if the user restarts the system or shuts it down and starts after a long time, you need to maintain that connection. And that is known as maintaining persistent connections. Okay. After that comes the last part, which is reporting or clearing traces, where I'll show you how to generate a report or how to clear the traces, remove all the evidences. And again, before we dive into all these concepts, we'll be having a first 1 week of introductory classes. Since not everyone could be from the same domain, from computer science, what we have done is we have added a few basic networking concepts, basics of Linux and Windows commands, and lab set of classes in the first one. Okay, so the first one we will have introductory concepts like what is virtualization, and again we'll be using a very important tool called VMware, which is capable of installing multiple operating systems on one machine. So my base machine is a Windows 11 operating system. On top of this Windows 11, I have a tool called VMware, and in this VMware I'm running my multiple different other operating systems like my Kali operating system, my Windows operating system, and so on. Now we'll also be learning about Kali. Kali is a Linux-based Debian flavored operating system. The reason why we'll be using this is because this is predominantly used in the cybersecurity field. The reason, this is coming pre-installed with all the cybersecurity tools. Okay, for information gathering, for vulnerability analysis, for password attacks, for wireless attacks, and so on. All these tools come pre-installed with the Kali operating system. So therefore, it is very important that we understand how to use a Linux OS. Okay, and even for that, we have a special class. The first introductory classes where we'll learn about virtualization, to install the lab setup. Then we'll learn basic concepts of networking. What is IP addresses? What are IPv4 addresses? What are IPv6 addresses? What is subnet mask? What is DHCP protocol? What is DNS protocol? All those concepts will be covered in networking. After networking, we'll be learning Linux operating system commands, Windows commands, and then we dive into the information gathering. First part of hacking. So if I've missed out any topic, guys, in the presentation, this list could be good enough to let you know what topics we'll be discussing in the class. Okay. Now, before I end the session, a small practical just to keep things a bit interesting. How many of you know how to create a link from which you can get the system information or user information? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a link, a website through which once you create a URL, you can send that URL to someone, and once they click it, it will redirect them to an original website. There will be nothing malicious with it, and still you get their information of their devices. So let's say I have a YouTube page for now. Okay, this is not mine, sorry. This is a YouTube page, official YouTube page. Nothing wrong with this. Everything seems fine. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this. Let's say I just randomly set one video. Let's like go with this one, and I have some random video, Spider-Man No Way, Final TV Spot. What I can do is I can just copy this URL, and now I'll be modifying this URL a bit, and I'll send it to someone. Once they click on it, they get the same page. There'll be nothing wrong with it. But as soon as I click on it, I'll be getting their information, like what operating system they are using, what is their public IP, what is the internet service they're using. So for that, I'll be showing a website called Grabify. Now, how many of you are familiar with this, guys? It's a very popular website in the cybersecurity domain. Anyone familiar with this one already? Grabify.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Now, if I click on this Grabify, now this is capable of creating a modified link for you with which you can try to send it to someone and get their device information. So over here, it is asking us to enter a valid URL. So just copy this YouTube URL, Control C, Control V, and create URL. Now, as soon as I click on create a URL, this will generate me a modified URL. Again, this is also going to give you, redirect you to the same page, YouTube page itself. Now, as you can see, I've got a new link over here. Now, if this seems a bit suspicious, you can change the domain as well. So depending on your target, whatever he's interested in, you can select a specific domain. So let's see if he's interested in sports, I'll select a sports link. If he's interested in dating websites, I'll select a dating website link. If he's interested in gaming, I'll select a gaming, and so on. Let's say my user is interested in coding. So I'll select a coding link over here. Okay. If I want to add a path, I can add a path as well. And now this is my new link, learncoding.co. Right. Now I can copy this link, and now I can share it with my target. So again, guys, nothing wrong, nothing malicious. If anyone wants to click on it, you can. Again, I'm not going to do any gaining access part or anything, just to show you from a very basic link what kind of information I can get of you. Now, can anyone please click on this link and let me know? Just verify if you're getting the same Spider-Man page, because that is the main agenda. As soon as you click on that link, you should be getting the same YouTube video. So is anyone going to participate in this, guys? Please let me know if anyone is.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, Sai. Did you get the same YouTube page?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Now, if you have clicked the link, one more request from mine. Please search what is my IP. This will show you your original public IP. the one you're getting from your internet service provider. My IP right now is 43.225.20. So and so. Okay, from so and so location. Location might not be accurate, guys. Don't worry about that. But the IP is capable of giving away your location. Okay, so now if I go back to my Grabify page, you can notice I've got a couple of results over. Okay, so one of you clicked on this link. I don't want to disclose who is that, okay, or why, but one of you has clicked on this link and your IP is 47.31.49.234. It says country India. Okay, location might not be accurate, guys. It might not be Delhi. Okay, the country might be. Country is definitely accurate. Okay, and the screen size is 800 by 360, from which I can figure out this is a phone. And you're using the Chrome browser to click on that link. And you're using Android 11 operating system on your phone. And your SIM card is a Reliance Jio SIM card. Okay, and after, next one. After this, there's another one. 103, 143, 168.66. Again, Android phone, Android 9 operating system, Chrome mobile browser, and your phone is Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1. And you are using ASPT network, some internet service provider. Next one, again from Hyderabad, using a Windows 10 operating system, and you use the Internet Explorer to click on this link. And your ISP is a Reliance Jio ISP, and this is your public IP. And then next one, there's someone else from Hyderabad who has used a Microsoft Edge browser, Windows 10 operating system. This is your graphic card, Intel IR inbuilt XE graphic card of 2 GB, I guess. And yeah, this is your ISP Atria. If Atria, I guess it is Act Hibernate, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, so from a very basic link, guys, you could have seen what kind of information I'm getting. Okay, this information is more than sufficient for a hacker to understand what device you're using and what kind of a malware he needs to create. So if you're using an Android phone, he'll specifically create an Android malware and he will upload it to somewhere. He can upload this as a story also in your WhatsApp status or in a Facebook story. You can click link, put links over there. And if someone clicks on that link, they get the same YouTube page. But internally, hacker gets their information as well. Okay, so what is happening over here in the internal mechanism is when you're clicking on that link, the request is first going from your device to Grabify. And in that request, all this information is readily present, guys. Okay, and this information is being logged by Grabify, and from there it is redirecting you to YouTube. Okay, so if you carefully observe your browser in between for a short span of time, for a second or two, you'll notice you'll get the Grabify page first, and then you get redirected to the YouTube page. So in that short span of time, Grabify is capturing all your details, displaying it to the attacker, and then redirecting you to YouTube page. Okay, and the attacker gets this information and gets to know what kind of a malware he needs to create for you. If you're using an Android phone, he'll create an Android malware. If you're using a Windows phone, he'll create a Windows malware. And next time, he'll put that link of the malware. When you click on that, again, you'll get a YouTube page or something. But in the internally, you'll be also getting a malware. Okay, and once you install that malware, you'll have complete access to your device itself. Okay, so yeah, just to show you a small practical, since we have limitation of time, this is the shortest practical on information gathering. So this is a combination of information gathering and social engineering, guys. I am trying to get information on you, but this requires user interaction. I'm sending you a link. Okay, so in a real-time scenario, you can send this via a story or a WhatsApp update or a message or WhatsApp message, or also as my, what do you say, as a link directly. Okay, and once you click on it, I'll be getting this information on your end. Is this clear, guys? Any questions up to this part? So if about this or anything else, if you have any questions, you can let me know.
Sir, I have a question. Means now these are the topic covered in the course, right?
Yes.
So when will be the class will be taken, sir?
Again, guys, for any class related query or for any payment query, please contact DURGASOFT itself. I only handle the technical queries. If you have any questions regarding the technical part, so I guess Sai, we'll be taking on my assumption, we'll be taking a few more demo sessions to gather a few students, and then we'll be starting the batch by next week.
Okay, sure. And sir, is this necessary? Means now actually we are going through one course, means what you call like Linux admin and this one AWS. So after that, I'm planning to go with the shell scripting, then again with this course.
Okay, because all those are completely different courses compared to cybersecurity, ethical hack. So your AWS and all is for web, what do you say, for web hostings and stuff. Your shell coding is to learn coding on the shell part. Cybersecurity altogether is a completely different part. You're trying to hack into different devices, whether that be a Windows system or a Linux operating system or a mobile phone or a Wi-Fi router. You're trying to learn how to penetrate into each of these different information devices.
Sir, but
That is
Linux
not
is necessary, yeah. Like we must be knowing that proper means scripting language, or like what basic
scripting
things.
is not at all required. Scripting is not
Okay.
required. You need to know how to use a Linux operating system. So when we talk about Linux, you usually use the terminal for commands. Okay, all the things that you have to do, all the programs that you have to run, they get executed terminally in the terminal. So you need to learn a few commands for that. So basic Linux commands are more than sufficient for cybersecurity. Scripting or coding language is not at all required. If there's
But
any
then,
topic which requires that, yeah.
sir, then you have mentioned in the web application penetration testing, SQL injection, it is there, right? So do we need like SQL basics or SQL properly? We must be knowing SQL
Again, as of now, for whatever topic I'll be teaching, for that basic requirements are already included in the course. So when we talk about SQL injection, I'll be explaining what SQL query is, how do these queries work, what are the basic queries to perform SQL injection. All that is included. So you don't need to learn anything up to the maximum advanced level. Whatever is required for that specific topic, that is included, added along with the topic of the penetration testing.
So we must be having like basic knowledge. It is more than required, right?
More than sufficient.
Okay,
Even
sir.
if you don't have any knowledge, even if you don't know what SQL is, I'll be teaching that in the course itself on that specific day.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So there are no prerequisites for the course. You don't need to learn anything. The only requisite is you need to know how to operate a computer. That's more than sufficient. Okay. And since this being an online course, you need to have a system with a good processor, let's say i3 or i5 processor, and 8 GB of RAM minimum.
Okay.
So if you have 8 GB of RAM, this is more than sufficient for the course. Once you are ready with the laptop or the PC, I'll help you in installing the lab setup on your device, and you'll have an exact replica of the lab that I have on my system, and we can practice simultaneously.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, my name is Tarif. I am from Delhi.
Hi, Tarif.
I just want to ask that how cloud security is different from cyber security. Is the cloud security is the part of cyber security, or whether cyber security is moving in coming 2 years or 3 years towards the cloud security?
Again, Tarif, to answer your question perfectly, cybersecurity is the domain. Okay, just like if I have to give you a very good example, networking is a domain, Tarif. Okay, in networking, you have different courses. The CCNA, CCNP, CCIE, various levels of courses. Similarly, when you talk about cybersecurity, there's different streams. There's network security, there's system security, there's a forensics department, there's cloud security. So these are different streams again. Okay, so cloud security deals only with cloud infrastructure components. Okay, when we talk about certified ethical hacking, this is the introductory course for you from basics to advanced level. Okay, intermediate level at least, where you learn different parts of pen testing. Okay, so in depth much more. When we talk about cybersecurity, you have CH as the introductory level. After CH, you have advanced courses like web application pen testing or network security or cloud security. Okay, so what we do at DurgaSoft is for people who are completely new to the cybersecurity domain, we make them go through the CH course. After CH is done, the most booming field right now is web application pen testing, finding vulnerabilities in websites. So there's web application pen testing as an advanced course.
Okay.
Your doubt on cloud security, that's a complete altogether different course. Okay, which is done usually after CEH is together. Hello.
Yeah. All right. Understood.
Okay. Any other questions, guys, for anyone else?
Yes, sir. This is Vinay.
Hi, Vinay.
Yes, sir. I have a question. So actually, it's a from offensive side right now.
Sorry. Please come again.
CH is mostly for offensive.
Well, you're going to learn both of them, offensive as well as defensive. After I show an attack, I also show you how to defend yourself from these kinds of attacks. Okay. So both the offensive and the defensive techniques will be taught. Preventions as well as techniques.
Does the solution provide any separate course for defense mechanisms? How to set up infrastructure in an organization in a secure way?
No, as of now, no such courses there. which is again, you're talking about blue team pen testing. But there's
Yeah.
red team and blue team. Red team is for offensive part, blue team is for defensive part. But whatever topics are included in CH, all the topics I'll be showing both the attack methods as well as the defense methods, how to prevent these kinds of attacks, how to prevent DOS attacks or malware attacks, how to prevent SQL injection, how to prevent cross-site scripting, every single thing, whatever topics are being discussed. For each of those vulnerabilities or for each of those methods of pen testing, I'll be showing you how to defend yourself from those kinds of attacks as well. What you're talking about is how to enable a setup in an organization. And that's a completely different part.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, if we learn all this requirements, if we learn all this topic, so how much like minimum we can attend the 1 year of experience, like, or 2 years, almost 2 years required experience from the cyber security. You can apply.
You can start applying. Yeah, you can start applying for the entry level jobs aside, like monitoring job roles or security analyst and so on. Basic junior pen tester. So for those job roles, you can go with these courses for certified ethical hacking. You can start applying for those topics, for those job roles.
Sir, any projects will be covered into this? Means after the sessions, like any like project or like real-time project or something will be covered in.
There is no project, basically speaking, Saidi, because as I've told you, these are different domains. You're talking about, there's completely difference. There's Wi-Fi hacking, there's system hacking. There's no interlink between these two.
It's comparatively same like CCNA, like yeah, right? Means almost.
Yeah, when we talk about networking part, you have a lab setup. You have routers, switches. You use GNU, right? What is that called?
Yeah.
Something GCP or GNU something, which is like a virtual for you. Virtual router creator, switch creator, and then you try to perform different protocols. So in this also we'll have lab setup where we have a Kali machine, again physical Kali virtual operating system, a Windows operating system, and we'll show you how to hack from this Kali to that Windows operating system.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Sure. Anup has asked a question. I think, yeah, that would be sufficient actually. i3 GB RAM would be sufficient. Yep. Any other questions, guys? For anyone else?
So mostly when the process will be starting, like normal classes?
Probably by next week's ID. Because
okay.
As of 1 week, we might have a few more demo sessions for the other students to attend as well, since not everyone might be knowing that we are taking demos. So just until the word spreads and until people attend the demos and confirm, max to max 1 week, we'll be starting the classes.
Okay. So mostly, okay, fine. Not an issue.
Sure. So yeah, that's it, guys. Nothing more for the demo session. I hope you have liked the demo session. Again, if there's any issues with the audio or video, please let me know. Please give a feedback so that we can better it next time. Yeah. Any other questions, guys, before I end the session one last time?
No, sir.
Okay, so I hope you have liked the demo session.
Yes.
And yeah, that's it. Have a great day, guys. Have a great Sunday. I'll see you in the classes soon. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.